Let's talk about Millie Bobby Brown and how Hollywood exploited her. Even her parents weren't protecting her. They accepted Millie's messed up relationship when she was 16 years old, and the guy was 20 years old. Apparently, he was grooming Millie. Millie Bobby Brown was born on February 19th, 2004. Her parents are Kelly Brown and Robert Brown. She was born with partial hearing loss in her left ear, and gradually, she completely lost hearing on that side. In 2013, when she was 9 years old, she made her debut in Hollywood with a fancy drama series. Then, for a few years, she took on various side roles here and there. Later on, in 2016, she was cast in Stranger Things. After the series was released, she gained immense fame and recognition. At that time, she was only 12 years old. During this phase, several articles raised the question of why Millie, at such a young age, was attending parties where much older people were using white substances. Because of this, people started questioning her parents, asking why they were encouraging this. At the end of the day, they were managing her and deciding which events Millie would attend and which she wouldn't. It is said that they were okay with Millie attending such parties because in Hollywood to work, you have to know people and make connections with them. Building connections is totally fine, but is it necessary to attend such parties for networking where substance abuse happens? This industry is gradually being exposed for how it preys on young people. During this phase, Millie was hanging out with some weird people. Plus, she was under a lot of pressure, working constantly at such a young age. She was getting exhausted. At one point, Millie Bobby Brown's father started demanding money for himself. According to the people Millie was working with, her dad would sometimes demand to be paid separately, even though Millie was already being paid. This was really odd because all the hard work and actual labor were being done by Millie. Millie was doing all the work, and at that time, she wasn't even 18 years old. So, obviously, her parents were handling her funds. The desire for their children to be successful and famous isn't wrong, but at the same time, everyone knows that in an industry like Hollywood, parents should keep their children protected. Many young artists' lives have been messed up after entering this industry. They start using white substances, develop drinking problems, and sometimes face abuse. Drew Barrymore is one of those child actresses who was also exploited by her parents in Hollywood. At the age of 11, she develops a drink problem. At 12, she's a drug addict. At 13, she cuts her wrists and is hospitalized. And at 14, she's legally divorced from her parents. Drew's mother was exposed for putting out her daughter in an inappropriate environment for the financial gain, like Studio 54. At one point, people on the internet felt that Millie's parents wanted their daughter to remain a controversial figure, so that she would constantly be talked about, get work, and stay in the spotlight. Then, when Millie was 16 years old, another messed up thing happened in her life. A guy named Hunter, who was a TikToker, came into her life. At that time, he was 20 years old. This relationship was something many people found inappropriate. Of course, there was an age difference, but people were also unimpressed with Hunter's personality and behavior. They found him quite cunning. It seemed true, and it was going to be proven later. During a live session, Hunter was drunk. It was during this time that he brought up Millie as a topic and confirmed that he had been dating her for months. And Millie's parents were aware of this, and he even stayed at their house. He was grooming her, and periodically, he started mocking Millie, making fun of her moments in the bedroom. He began talking about her excessively, trying to shame her. His intense personality was evident, and the audience's concerns about him were valid. This revealed something was wrong with his behavior in that relationship. Hunter's ex-girlfriend once revealed that Millie's mother approached Hunter on TikTok first. In a way, she encouraged this relationship. Now we don't know how true this statement actually is, but people won't raise these questions on Millie's parents. If this would have happened for the first time, but even before this, they never stopped their daughter from making wrong choices. And Millie was involved with someone like Jacob when she was young and her judgment was quite poor. And that guy had troubled her with addiction problems, and still her parents allowed Millie to associate with him. At that time, many people on the internet were saying that they should have broken up somewhere. Fans were more concerned about Millie, but her parents were encouraging her controversial choices. which raises the question on them why they were not protective about their daughter. Was their main concern only money and fame? Don't think such things happen in Hollywood. Even Britney Spears was not underage, yet her dad exploited her, fully controlling her money and transferring it to his own account. In this case, Millie was quite young and her experience in Hollywood hasn't been good. Stranger Things, released after the initial years, faced a lot of trolling because of her bubbly personality. During the release of that series, the cast members were very young, so how were they supposed to act when called for various separate interviews? They didn't know that much, so joking around, interrupting each other in excitement. This wasn't intentional. They were kids, so they behaved like that. But it was said about Millie due to her personality that she was trying to seek attention. There was a Hunter scenario where discussions were happening that she can't be taken seriously. She was only 16 years old, and people on the internet were objectifying and shaming her years ago. This has happened with actresses like Emma Watson, who wasn't 18 years old and underage at that time. And the media eagerly awaited when she would turn 18 and when they could make her inappropriate. Just as with Millie at the age of 18, they will release her sensual photos. Of course, these photos were fake. When Millie was 17 years old, she met Jake Bon Jovi online, and they started dating. Their bond became very strong in a short time. Jake was 19 years old, 2 years older than Millie. From 2021 to 2023, they dated each other. And in April 2023, they got engaged. Fans were really surprised that they were making the decision to marry at such a young age. It's been said Millie wants to stay away from her parents. She is rushing things, but it seems a bit stretched because Millie has already gained quite a bit of fame and money since 2016. So she has resources. If she had to leave home, she would have done that. One thing to notice here is that as soon as Millie turned 18 years old, she took control of herself and her decisions. Since then, controversies around her have not been seen much, unlike when she was younger. And that's really weird. It was confirmed by Jack's dad in a statement that they got married in a private setup. Their wedding has already happened, so it's beautiful that at least now she has found her safe place. The sad thing is that she was treated very badly from a young age, from exploitation and objectification. She faced all of this in the industry, and people still thrust their opinions on her. Who marries so quickly? She is young. This will not work out after 25. She will really experience life quickly. She married so quickly for that reason, and that is why Millie does not want to talk publicly about her wedding. Now Millie's net worth is $14 million. She is 20 years old and is doing an amazing beauty brand. She does by the name Florence. And that's it for today's video. Let me know what you think about it. Thank you for watching.